Hello everyone on YouTube, it's Jordan here again, and judging by the echo, you can hear that I've actually moved. Thank heaven for that. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Talkback on an Android emulator. What are we going to need? Well, we're going to need an emulator of your choice, and you're going to want to have NVDA installed. And I'll tell you that in a bit. You want to make sure that Hyper-V is disabled, and then once you've done all that, let's get started. It's only going to be a short tutorial because this is, well, probably not, but it might be easy for you, but we'll see. So, go ahead and install the emulator of your choice like you would with any program. So, as long as you know where to download that emulator, and as long as it's installed, you're good to go. Make sure you've got admin privileges though. So, the real tricky part is when we actually boot the emulator. You'll notice very quickly that your screen reader is not going to read anything. But we can use a trick with NVDA, and we're going to be relying on this. NVDA has a thing called optical content recognition, or OCR for short, using Windows 10 to read what's on screen, even if the app is inaccessible, like these Android emulators. So once Android is booted up and you are on the home screen, press NVDA and R to navigate to the Google Play Store. It depends on your emulator. You'll find it in System Apps, or it might just be there. So once you press enter on Google Play Store, this is one of the hurdles you'll come across. You'll have to sign into your Google account. Now, this is hard because you're using content recognition, and you have to keep pressing escape in order to read more. So, I recommend getting sighted assistance if you can't do it, but it's doable anyway. You just gotta try typing in if you feel there's an edit where you think there should be an edit box. And if it's reading anything you've typed in, this is the same for the search box, which will come later. If it's reading, then by all means press enter on that. And do the same with the passwords, although that's not going to be read. But if it has been typed in properly, then you should see the Google Terms of Service. So once you've done that, once you've signed in and you can see the Terms of Service properly, you see those, you know you've signed in properly. Click Accept or I agree, and you should be ready to go. Now, we're going to want to install two things. The first is the Google TTS service, and the second is the Android Accessibility Service. But if you've got another Android device handy, or you've used other Android devices, it can simply be found in your app library. Otherwise, search for those the way you've been doing when we were signing in. So in your search apps and games, you just type in the apps you want and press enter. And there's an install button next to each one, so you just got to press enter on that install button. Still in the content recognition dialog. You'll have to escape a few times, like I said before. So, assuming those are installed now, what do we do now? Now, the next thing we're going to do is access what we've installed. So, how do I turn Talkback on, you may ask? What's the keyboard shortcut? Well, if you tried doing this from within the emulator itself without doing anything, Talkback isn't pre-installed. But now we've installed Talkback because we've installed Accessibility Suite, and we're going to want to go into the accessibility settings in order to enable it. So what you're going to want to do is, this might depend, but you want to keep tabbing around and switching between the focus and the NVDA content recognition. But once you've done that, and you can see your accessibility settings. Hit enter on those, and now, if you've been scouring, you wouldn't have seen Talkback. But now Talkback will appear because you've installed the accessibility services and the TTS engine. Talkback can run without the TTS engine installed, but you just won't get any speech. It's the same if you're trying to use Android x86 as well. So once that's installed, where am I now? Oh yeah, that's it. We just discovered that we've got Talkback available to us now. You're going to want to enable it. So as soon as you just click the word on, hit enter on it, because it's still set. Even though you're in the NVDA content recognition dialog box, it's still sending commands to the app. So in other words, it's sending key presses to the emulator. And once you've clicked on and you can see the pop-up that says use Talkback, then you're almost done. No more NVDA content recognition dialog boxes. Once that's all done, with that, just hit the accept or OK button. And once you hit the OK button, Talkback will immediately start speaking. So you can forget about those NVDA content recognition dialog boxes now. Talkback is now speaking. You won't be able to use Talkback keyboard commands, unfortunately, but tab and the arrow key should hopefully work, depending on the emulator. And if it's your first time using Talkback, you will be brought to the tutorial. Just click close and enjoy using your emulator. And now I'm going to show you an Android emulator in action with Talkback enabled. So, disabling Hyper-V though, you can do that by downloading something from BlueStack's website. It's pretty easy to download. So once you've run it, exit out of it because it's already turned Hyper-V off, restart, make sure virtual machine platform is enabled, and enjoy using your and do the steps outlined above. So once you've done all the steps outlined above, enjoy your emulator. Now I'm going to show you an Android emulator in action, fully configured with Talkback enabled. So the Android emulator I'm using is LD Player, but you can use BlueStacks or any other Android emulator you prefer. So I'm going to go ahead and start up the emulator.
All S7 zip LD Player 4. New.
So here we go.
LD Player, the render.
So Android is booting. Just got to wait for it. Talkback will start speaking in a bit. There we go.
Talkback on.
Settings. Android is starting. Launcher 3. Search.
You might get stuttering depending on your computer, but just leave it for a bit.
Email, Google, security alert.
Just interrupt those because they're notifications. Android will look for any unread notifications when it starts up. It's the same if you were using a real Android device. So let's wait for a bit before we can navigate our emulator. So as you've heard, Talkback has started speaking to us now. So you're probably wondering now, since we can't use Talkback keyboard commands, how do I navigate my screen? Well, we've got Tab and Shift Tab available to us, and at the moment I am on my home screen. So if I press Tab, I'll be moving across all my apps.
Folder, System Apps, LD Store, Outlook, Chrome, Galaxy Store, Samsung Service, Galaxy Apps, My Files, OneDrive, Kingo Root, Assistant, Voice Search, Google, Dropbox, Facebook, Gmail, Nitroshare, Amazon Alexa, Your Phone Companion.
Now a lot of the apps you can see I've installed myself. But you don't get many apps preloaded on here. You just get the apps provided by your emulator's developer. So
Folder. System apps.
here's the system apps, so let's go into there. You just simply press enter on these to open them.
Folder opened. 3x3. System apps. Edit box.
This is just like
Press
using...
Alt plus Enter to edit text. Press Alt plus Shift plus Enter to long press. Editing options available. Use swipe up then right to view.
This is exactly like using an Android tablet. Now, while it's announcing swipe gestures, they may work if you've got a touchscreen device, but if you're on a laptop like mine, they're not going to work. See, if I go over to my screen and try swiping, they're not going to work because it's touchscreen here. I'm swiping my finger across the screen now, but it isn't working because I don't have touchscreen. And I could use my trackpad, but don't forget that you're also running on top of Windows as well. You're not running full on Android. It's not taking advantage of all your hardware. Although you are running Android, but it's just in an emulator. A bit like in a virtual machine. In fact, it is a virtual machine because there is a virtual disk in your folder. And you don't have to worry about the storage because that virtual drive is going to expand the more apps you add to it. So let's look at the system folder then, see what apps we've got in there.
Play games. Browser. Settings. File manager. Contacts. Downloads. Gallery. Editing. System apps. Edit box.
Now Talkback's not going to read everything, but it's only going to read your important stuff. We can use our arrows as well.
System apps. Gallery. Download. Gallery. Selected text. System apps. Editing. System apps.
And if you want to return to the home screen at any point, just press escape.
Play Store. Press Alt plus Enter to activate. Press Alt.
Now we're going to take a look at installing an app. So we're going to open the Play Store. I'm going to show you how that works.
For you. Play Store. Selected. Play Pass. Press Alt plus Enter to activate.
So I've got the Google app installed here, so I can use voice search, or I can just manually type the app that I want to install in. In this case, we're going to install the Twitter app. So we're going to go ahead and navigate till we get to our search box.
Show navigation drop. Search for apps and games. Press Alt plus Enter to activate.
So I want to activate that edit box.
Editing. Search for apps and games. Edit box.
So I'm going to tap Twitter in there.
TTR. Showing items 1 to 8 of Navigate up. Button. Press Alt. Twitter.
There we go. We've got Twitter here, and we just simply tapped the install button.
Install button.
NVDA will actually let you know that your app has been installed as well, funnily enough. So once we click install, it's going to start installing.
Cancel. 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 Cancel.
Install succeeded. Twitter open. Come open to try it.
And there we go. Twitter is installed. We're not going to open it today because, you know, I'm not in the mood for setting Twitter up. But we've just installed our first app. Although I've got our first app for this video. Actually, let me just make sure I'm still recording.
Camera cam pause video. Stop taking.
Yeah, I'm still recording. There we go.
Pause video recording. But LD to red.
So what's next then? Well, for all you audio game fans out there, I've not even tried this myself. We're going to go ahead and install Dice World because it's a popular Android game. Right, so let me go ahead and
content rating. Content screenshot ads related.
Let's just clear out of there.
Selected play pass. Showing item. Show navigate. Search for apps and games.
Search for apps.
Press Alt plus.
So we're going to want to install Dice World.
Editing. Search for.
So let's just.
D-R-C-E. D. Showing navigate up button. Press Alt plus Enter. Dice World 6 fun dice games. Install.
Okay, it's found Das World for us. So once we've installed it, we're going to give it a try and see if we can actually play it.
Cancel. 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 Cancel.
Don't worry, it's still installing.
Cancel. Cancel.
Although it might not want to install.
Cancel.
See how we're doing anyway.
Cancel. Cancel.
Install succeeded. Dice
Play.
World open. Come open and try it.
Our app is now installed, so let's click open. Let me get out of
The
there.
render.
Play button.
Click play, and hopefully this should work.
Portrait. Sign in. Log in with Facebook button. Editing. Editing. Sign in button. Create user. Log in with Facebook. Editing. Username. Edit button. Sign in button. Create use. Log in with Facebook.
I think I can only log in with Facebook, so it'll have to.
Dice World. Loading. Facebook. Error. Web view. Switch to the Facebook. Error. Switch to the regular mobile. Facebook. Error. Facebook. Sign in. Log in. Editing. Username. Edit box.
Oh,
Press all.
I was hoping we could
Play
get.
Store.
I was hoping
Press
we
all
could get
plus.
Das World working. All right, let's try another game.
Average rating 4.2.
Let's try.
Selected. Play pass. Show navigate.
Let me get back to the search bar.
Show navigate. Selected. Show nav.
I don't want to sign in with Facebook because I'm giving away confidential information.
Show nav. Search for apps and games. Press all. Editing. Search.
So let's look for Audio Game Hub instead.
Game. UB. Navigate.
Notification
Button.
from Twitter.
Press all plus enter to activate.
1,180,650.
Sorry about all that. We will get notifications. As you know, that's from my phone, and I just got a notification from Twitter. Anyway, hopefully,
Audio Game Hub. Install.
fingers crossed we can get Audio Game Hub working.
Cancel. 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 Cancel.
So let that install.
Cancel.
Like I said, this
Cancel.
if it keeps saying that, it is
Cancel.
installing.
Cancel. 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 Cancel.
Install succeeded. Audio
Play.
Game Hub to open. Come open and try it. The render.
Okay, let's see if it works.
Average. Play.
Let's see if we get sound from the game as well.
Portrait. Allow Audio Game Hub 2 to access photos. Allow
Come out.
Audio Game Hub 2. This will be used as your default account in future games. Change this in the play.
Please turn the accessibility mode off. Use headphones for best sound experience. Royal Blind Foundation of New Zealand. Auckland University of Technology. The Ufana University, Lundberg. Sonar Interactive.
As you can tell, that is working really well for us.
Welcome to the Audio Game Hub tutorial. In a few simple steps, you will learn how to navigate through the menus. Step 1. Selecting options. Drag your finger on the screen to view available menu options. Alternatively, you can swipe up or down. Try to find option number 3.
Let's see.
Option 1. Option 2.
Oh, we can just use the arrow keys. So in this case, we're going to navigate to option 3. Now, pressing your arrow keys is going to emulate
Drag your finger on the screen to view available menu options. Alternative, option 1.
It's going to get you where you are. So You can totally play this on a PC emulator.
Option 2. Option 3. Well done. To select an option, double tap the middle of the screen. Try it now to continue.
So let's try pressing enter on something. Let's try it, because we don't have a touch screen.
Option 2.
Let's press enter.
Option 3.
Maybe you want to stay on option 3.
To select an option, double tap the middle of the screen. Option 3.
Let's try our NVDA content recognition.
Recognize Steve. Option 1. Option 2.
Option 4. Option 4.
No, I doubted that would work.
Surrender.
But if you have a touchscreen device, you can totally play this.
Option 5. Option 3. Option 3.
I don't know how I'm going to emulate double tapping. But I can't use my trackpad.
To select an option, double tap the middle of the screen. Try it now to continue.
Updated with pause video.
No, I'm still on my
LD player the red.
Let's get out of the game then.
Welcome to the audio main menu. Main menu. Page 1 of 2. Play game. Tutorial.
It turns out we don't have to do the tutorial anyway, we can play some games. Hopefully a lot of games don't rely on double tapping.
News. More games. Achievements. High scores. Page 2. Supporters. Purchases. Close app.
Let's close the app. No, I'm going to restart the emulator.
No more prompt delete breaking. No do you want restart camera.
Let's restart
Camera
the emulator.
LD player the render.
Audio Game Hub sort of works, but we just can't do any double taps. But it is playable if you have a touchscreen device.
Talkback on.
Settings. Launcher 3. Search.
Audio Game Hub does work.
Camera cam stop take pause video.
But games that rely on only Talkback, you can totally play those if you want to. I mean, they don't require double tapping because pressing enter on something simply works. Keep in mind that most of these apps were designed for a touch screen, so the developer of the Audio Game Hub assumed that I was using a touch device. Which, if your computer does have one, you can use your touch screen. We are emulating an Android tablet after all, but I don't know how you emulate double taps. I'll have to look into that. I was thinking backspace would, but it wouldn't. Anyway, that is how to run an Android emulator using Talkback. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to posting more videos in the future, so let me know what videos you'd like to see next. This is Jordan signing off saying have a good day everyone.
LD player download LD camera stop take pause video recording button. LD download LD camera 1 camera stop pause video stop taking with